ang ating DepEd vision. Now let's come to our mission. To protect and promote the right of every Filipino to quality, equitable, culture-based, and complete basic education where. Huwag natin kakalimutan ang arrangement. Una, quality. Sumunod si equitable. Sumunod, culture-based. And then complete basic education. So, una, students learn in a child-friendly, gender-sensitive, safe, and motivating environment. Yan din ang pagkakasunod-sunod. Child-friendly, gender-sensitive, safe, and motivating environment. Teachers facilitate learning and constantly nurture every learner. So, ang teacher talaga ay facilitator according to our mission. Huwag ninyong kalimutan ha, teacher, kahit anong learning delivery modality pa ang ating gamitin, facilitator pa rin si teacher. Facilitator, kanila lang. Sandali lang po.
I see you.
Okay, let's continue. Teachers facilitate learning and constantly nurture every learner. Then administrators and staff as stewards of the institution ensure an enabling and supportive environment for effective learning to happen. Stewards tayo tagapagbantay ng institusyon. Kaya hindi dapat tayo nabantay sa lakay. Bantay sa lakay. Magpupost tayo ng kung ano-ano laban sa DepEd. Sinisira natin ang reputasyon ng DepEd pamagitan ng social media. Administrator and staff, kasama tayo doon. Stewards tayo, tagapagbantay. Kaya huwag naman natin sirain ang ating sarili. Then family, community, and other stakeholders are actively engaged and share responsibility for developing lifelong learners. Family, community, and other stakeholders actively engage. Actively engage ang term na ginamit. Okay. Himay-himayin natin ito. Mirab, open po ang yung mic. Pakita niyo. Pati si Ma'am Sharon. Okay, thank you. Now, ano ang ibig sabihin ng to protect and promote the right of every Filipino? That is stated in our 1987 Philippine Constitution, Section 1. The state shall protect and promote the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels, and shall take appropriate steps to make sure education accessible to all. Kaya sa KRE natin ay number 1, access, followed by quality and relevance. And third is governance. So ano yung mga performance indicators sa quality? Number 1 po yung dropout. Number 1 yung followed by meron diyang dropout rate, enrollment rate, participation rate, completion rate, cohort survival rate, kasama dyan sa test. Kaya dapat lahat daw ng school-age children ay nasa school regardless of their situation, background, and beliefs. Kaya iba-iba po ang mga programa natin sa Department of Education. Meron tayong ALS, meron tayong EDN, SPED, Special Education, meron tayong IPED, Indigenous Peoples Education, meron tayong Madrasa Education, meron tayong sports school at senior high. That is because of our mandate under the Philippine Constitution to have quality education at all levels and accessible education. What is quality education? That means providing all learners with capabilities required to become economically productive, develop sustainable livelihoods, contribute to peaceful and democratic society, and enhance individual well-being. Quality education means holistically developing our children. A quality education is an education that can holistically develop our children. Nandiyan na po yung para maging productive sila economically, mabuti ang kanilang income, magkapera, at saka magkaroon ng mabuting trabaho, at saka hindi problema sa society. Ken, quality education addresses all aspects of learning and allows for learning throughout life. It attends to the 4 pillars of learning. According to UNESCO, ano po yung 4 pillars of learning? Lumabas ito sa 2015 na exam. Buti na lang nabasa ito. Learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together and with others, and learning to be. Again, 4 pillars of learning according to UNESCO. Learning to know, nag-aaral para matuto o para may malaman. Learning to do, nag-aaral para may matutong gumawa. Learning to live together, nag-aaral para makipagkapwa, malaman kung ano ang pakikipagkapwa-tao. And learning to be, nag-aaral para matupad ang pangarap sa buhay. We are not learning not just for the sake of learning. We are learning with a purpose. What is equitable education? It means that personal or social circumstances such as gender, ethnic origin, or family background are not obstacles to achieving educational potential, and that all individuals reach at least a basic minimum level of skills. Kaya nga, nang nagka-pandemic, ano ang ginawa natin ng ating department ay in-streamline yung mga competencies at nagkaroon ng MELCs. Ano yung MELCs? Most Essential Learning Competencies. These are under the... Kaya nga, yung pagkakaroon ng MELCs ay naka-align po sa ating mission. Na at least ang ating mga mag-aral ay maka-reach, umabot o ma-acquire ang at least ang basic minimum level of competencies or the skills. Then, every child, ang ibig po sabihin ng equitable education, every child has equal chance for success. Hindi lang yung mga academically no matatalino. So, yung iba na medyo mahina sa math ay dapat maging successful din kung saan sila magaling. Kung magaling sila sa sports, doon dapat sila maging successful. Again, what is culture-based education? Culture-based education is grounding of instruction and student learning in the values, norms, knowledge, beliefs, and language that are the foundation of a culture. That is why we have contextualization of our curriculum. And that's why we have mother tongue-based multilingual education. Ang tinatawag na MTBLE. MTBLME. or mother tongue based multilingual education sa ating K-12 basic education curriculum. Meron tayong contextualization dahil nga nakasadyan sa ating mission to have culture-based education. So what is complete basic education? Ibig sabihin po nito, itong education that holistically develop the learners. Like the basic education K-12, basic education system, and ang complete education, of course, another feature is that education that is accessible to all. Kaya nga, kahit sa pinakamamalayong lugar, meron tayong mga paaralan. Kahit na ang isa sa programa ng DepEd ay yung multi-grade education system. Multi-grade. Para po maging accessible kahit papano ang education doon sa malalayong lugar. Now, students learn in a child-friendly, gender-sensitive, safe, and motivating environment. Sa isahin natin ito, ano ang ibig sabihin ng child-friendly school? Narinig natin ito at may mga karatula ang mga schools nito. This is a child-friendly school. Okay? Ito ang ibig sabihin nito. Child-friendly school is a democratic environment. Based on children's right, where all students are accepted, teaching learning process are organized according to children's interest, needs, health, safety, and protective measures are taken for children, and gender-based discrimination is not provided. So wala pang lugar sa child-friendly school ang discrimination due to gender orientation. Paano naman kung pumunta sa ating opisina ang isang member ng LGBT at nangyari to sa akin? May pumasok sa opisina ko na isang member ng LGBT na estudyante namin at nagtanong sa akin, Sir, sa Monday magpa-flag ceremony ba, di ba tayo? At dapat naka-complete uniform ang mga estudyante? Sabi ko, yes, that is supposed to be. Sabi naman ng LGBT, Sir, pwede po ba akong magsuot ng uniform ng pambabae? Alam niya kung sino ang kausap ko. Uniform ng pambabae, naka-blouse at naka-palda. Siyempre, lalaki siya. Pero member ng LGBT. Ano ang ating isasagot? Ano ang naging I don't know kung okay sa inyo ang ginawa ko. Ang sinabi ko ay yes, you can wear the uniform that you want. At ano ang naging reaksyon ng bata? Parang nag-smile siya na ang aura niya ay parang napakasaya niya. Napakasaya niya. Ang sinabi ko po, walang problema. At pagka-Lunes, very early siya na pumasok. Very neat and clean, planchado ang kanyang uniform, naka-ponytail ang kanyang buhok. At ang kanyang aura is very happy and very excited to attend the flag ceremony. At mind you, saan siya pumuesto? Sa front ng linya ng kanilang klase. Sa front, nakita ng mga teachers kung ano ang suot niya during the flag ceremony. And that learner, that boy ba o girl, yung LGBT, parang proud na proud siya, nasuot niya. Proud na proud at very masaya na suot niya ang ganong uniform na bahay. So, paano kaya pag sinabi kong hindi, papasok na papakaya yun sa during flag ceremony? So, hindi ko naman sinasabi na you will impose this to your school because iba-iba naman po ang ating mga paniniwala. Pero if we will really decipher or understand deeply the meaning of our mission, lalo na ito na child-friendly school system, na sinasabi dito, discrimination is not provided. So para sa akin tama po ang naging decision ko. Anyway, I asked about this sa central office ng Department of Education, this situation, pero ang sagot nila wala pa namang guidelines ang DepEd na pinapalabas tungkol dyan. So that means in terms of guidelines, DepEd orders about wearing of uniforms ng mga LGBT members, ay silent pa po ang ating department. Kaya nasa ating mga kamay ang desisyon kung papayagan ba natin na pumili ng uniform, kung pambabae pang lalaki, ang isang LGBT na member. Ang siste, nang nakita ng mga lesbian naman, sorry to use the word, ang ginawa nung gay, nagsuot ng pangbabae, pumunta naman sa akin ng mga lesbian. At nagtanong, Sir, pwede po ba kaming magsuot ng uniform ng panlalaki? At marami silang pumunta sa aking opisina, isang grupo ng mga lesbian. Anong magagawa ko? Nagbigay na ako ng yes sa nauna. Imposible, hindi naman pwedeng magsabi ako ng no. Kaya pagkahapon, pagka next day, yun ang nangyari. Pumasok ang mga lesbian, suot-suot ang uniform na panlalaki. Pero masayang-masaya sila at very proud to be there. At nag-aral lang mabuti. Yun. Okay, let's come to gender sensitivity. UNESCO points out that gender sensitivity is not about pitting women against men. Hindi naman na gagawin nating lalaki ang babae. O papagawa natin ang gagawin ng lalaki sa babae. It's not that. Okay? Gender sensitive education benefits members of both sexes. It is being open-minded. So, yung dapat talaga sa eskwela ay open-minded. Open-minded in terms of dealing with the members of LGBTQ+. Lalo na in wearing of uniform. Anyway, hindi naman talaga, di ba? Hindi naman talaga required. Ano yung sabi niya? Parang pilitan ang pag-uniform. So, ang policy po ng Department of Education, tandaan natin, ay walang strict implementation of wearing of uniform. Pwedeng pumasok ang ating learner kahit hindi naka-uniform. As long as presentable naman ang suot. So, hanapin natin ang DepEd order na yan about maayos. Baka hindi natin pinapapasok sa paaralan ang hindi naka-uniform. That's a violation. Next, what is safe and motivating environment? Schools enjoy schooling or safe and motivating. Students are happy inside the school. Students are protected against all forms of violence. Kaya meron tayong child protection policy. That is in consonance with our mission to provide safe and motivating environment. Meron tayong protection against all forms of violence. Ano ba yung mga forms of violence? We have physical violence, sexual violence, mental or emotional violence, and neglect. Yun po ang forms of violence na dapat kahit nisa ito hindi maranasan ng ating mga estudyante, lalo na yung sexual violence. At lalong siyempre, equally, hindi dapat rin yung physical violence. Kaya bawal sa atin ang corporal punishment sa ating mga estudyante, like standing in front of the class, facing the blackboard, pagpapaluhod sa in front of the class, paglalagay ng libro sa ulo, ano pa, pagpipingot ng tainga, ayun, mga physical violence yun, corporal violence. Punishment, mali. Talaga, pwede tayong matanggal sa trabaho niyan. You know that. Ano naman yung emotional and mental violence na dapat din iwasan natin magawa sa mga estudyante natin. Yung pagsasabi na bobo, ang bobo mo, pwede tayong matanggal with such word. Ano pa yan? Bukas, ibabagsak ko kayo. O hindi kayo nakapagpasan ng project on time, bagsak kayong lahat. Oh, that is mental and emotional violence. Na pwede, kapag na-record yan, na-videohan tayo, na-videohan ng isang teacher, sinasabi niyan, pwede ma-subject for disciplinary action o makasuhan ng administrative ang isang teacher in relation to these different forms of violence. Ano mo yung sexual violence? Alam niyo yan. Panghihipo sa mga masilang parte ng katawan ng ating mga learners. Kahit na hindi hinipo o pagtingin lang, hindi maganda. yung tinging staring maliciously sa English. Staring maliciously to our learners and maganda, gwapo, ay form of sexual violence na rin yan. Kahit na pagsipol, dumaan si estudyante, sinipulan ni sir dahil nagandahan. Ako, sexual violence na rin yan. Another, yung mga words, sexually related words. Tinanong ni sir, si gwapo, may experience ka na ba sa ganito? Naku, sexual violence yan kapag nireport ka ng estudyante. Okay. Ano naman yung neglect? Pagpapabaya. Usually, ang mga nakakakommit nito ay yung mga parents. Kung hindi binibigyan ng maayos na pagkain, hindi pinuprovide yung maayos na damit, pagkain, tirahan, o yung si mama at si papa ay wala sa bahay the whole day dahil nasa sabungan, nasa madyungan, walang makain ng mga anak, pinabayaan na gutom, that is a form of neglect, which is a violence. So this can happen also in our school. Yung bumagsak ang isang learner dahil hindi gumawa ng intervention si teacher dahil busy sa pagtitinda sa online. Sa online selling. Bis na gumawa ng intervention o remediation activities para sa kanyang estudyante para hindi mamagsak, inubos ang oras sa online selling, ngayon, neglect yan. Neglect. Bagsak si estudyante. So kaninong kasalanan? Atin pa rin yan. So, hindi lang sa guro, pati rin sa school head. O bakit? Bakit kasama tayo? Kasi naman, hindi natin sinupervise ng maayos ang ating mga teacher. Kung ano man kapalpakan ni guro, kasama sa kapalpakan na yan si school head. Dahil nga, ang school head ay ang may accountability, responsibility, yung aura, accountability, responsibility sa school. Sabihin, ano man mangyari sa ating school, mabuti man o maganda, answerable pa rin tayo. What is a learning facilitator? Alam na natin ito. Teachers who do not operate under the traditional concept of teaching, but rather is meant to guide and assist students in learning for themselves. Spiral progression, kaya nga ang ating K to 12, ang kanyang design ay spiral progression. Scaffolding. Scaffolding ba? Hindi pa pagtayo ng bahay, bago dapat may scaffolding muna para maging maayos ang pagtatayo ng bahay. Dahil walang kung scaffolding ang bahay, kung hindi yan matatayo. Just like in learning. Okay? That's why we have the spiral progression curriculum. From basic to complex ang pagtuturo. How can teachers constantly nurture every learner? Teachers facilitate learning and constantly nurture every learner, providing differentiated instruction in varied activities, conducting home visitation, kahit 15 minutes lang daw ngayong COVID-19. Tanda natin na ilang minuto dapat mag-stay si teacher sa isang learner. Home visitation in times of the health crisis, hindi lalampas ng 15 minutes. And then, providing remediation and enrichment activities. Siyempre, para maiwasan ang pagbagsak o mabababang grades ng ating mga learners. Importante talaga ang remediation and enrichment dahil sa principle of practice. Constant practice makes perfect. That's why we have enrichment. Sa remediation naman, talagang tutulungan natin ang bata para makakope up with the learning or the lesson. Okay. Teaching and learning process occurs in and outside the school, and it is 24/7. So teachers, principals are role model in the community. Not only a role model, but we are the person in authority. Kaya kahit hindi papunta sa school ang ating direksyon, pag lumabas po tayo ng bahay, dapat ang ating suot ay kagalang-galang pa rin. Kagalang-galang pa rin. Sa malaki, teacher ka, principal ka, huwag ka namang lalabas ng bahay, pupunta sa isang tindahan na naka-shorts lang at walang damit, boxer shorts lang si sir. Pumunta sa tindahan, 100 meters ang layo sa kanyang bahay, tapang t-shirt. Hindi daw maganda yan dahil tayo ay 24 hours na model ng eskwelahan. Yan ang pinaalala sa amin ng aming professor sa doctoral degree na is dating regional directors ng Region 8, Region 7 at Region 5 na si Dr. Celidinho Layon. Yung talagang ang palaging pinapaalala sa amin pag may klase kami na dapat daw ang pananamit natin kahit tayo ay mapunta ay kagalang-galang. Always wear the t-shirts with color when we go out. At siyempre, hindi naman yung punit-punit at gula-gulanit na damit. Kailangan daw kagalang-galang tayo kahit saan tayo pumunta. Okay? Then next, why are they considered stewards? So administrators and staff as stewards of the institution ensure enabling and supporting environment for effective learning to happen. So they are servants who take care of the school and the Department of Education as a whole. As members of the DepEd family, we have the duty to protect its integrity and all that belong to the Department of Education, both intangible and tangible. Kaya nga, hindi talaga appropriate. It is inappropriate for us, school heads and teachers, to post in the social media something that can destroy the integrity and name of the Department of Education kasi Kapag ginawa mo yan, mayroon ka pa dyan sa last na mayroon pang inalagay, ano bang ginagawa ni DepEd sa problema na ito? Ang tanong na ito ay tinatanong mo rin sa sarili mo. Dahil we are part of the Department of Education. Sabi pa nga, we should not bite the hands that feed us. Sino bang bumubuhay sa atin? Bakit tayo pinapautang ng mga bangko? Dahil sa ating salary na galing sa Department of Education. Next. What do enabling and supportive environment mean?
Hindi na kami ginagawa sa
Empowering the teachers, learners, and other stakeholders, providing opportunities to learners to attain their own dreams, taking into consideration their talents and interests. Establishing authentic, trusting relationship with the learners and other stakeholders. Okay, this means favorable, positive school climate and culture. School climate and culture. That is supportive and enabling environment. Yung mga estudyante, pa nating malalaman ng ating school ay enabling and supportive. Siyempre, mga excited ang mga estudyante nating pumasok sa ating paralan at walang nagka-cutting classes. Pag maraming cutting class tayo, maraming absent, ibig sabihin, isang factor ay hindi enabling at supportive ang environment sa ating paralan. Baka sira na yung mga electric fan, napaka-init sa loob. Maraming bully, hindi nag-action ang paralan sa mga bullying incidents. Tapos magre-report tayo doon sa division, 0 bullying incidents. Pero marami palang may estudyante ang biktima ng bullying, hindi lang natin monitor dahil wala tayong sistema in monitoring bullying in our school. Anong naman yung effective learning means? It happens when the learners are exposed to engaging activities like playing and exploring. Effective learning happens when the learners are motivated, eager to achieve what they set out to do, and it happens when the learners think critically, just like having their own ideas, finding ways to solve a problem, and creating something. Ito, importante ito. What does actively engage mean? Sabihin ng actively engage. Family, community, and other stakeholders are actively engaged and share responsibility for developing lifelong learners. Dito, pumapasok ang shared governance as indicated in RA 9155. That's why we have also partnership, so building connection, sharing ideas, efforts, and resources. Collaborating in the implementation of programs and projects. In the example here, masasabi natin engaged na or actively engaged ang parents. Sa school feeding program ay kapag ang parents serves as volunteer in preparing the food for school-based feeding program. Another example that the parents or the stakeholders are actively engaged, yung school planning team, di ba, composed siya ng different stakeholders, representative, ay religiously crafting, adjusting, and reviewing the ESIP. Di ba sa SBM Level 3, sino yung nag-initiate ng mga activities? Di ba yung barangay captain, yung PTA president, GPTA president, yung chair, yung SGC, School Governing Council. So parang empowered na sila. Ano na lang ang role natin na school head? Of course, decision making pa rin. Tayo pa rin ang may final say kung ipo-pursue ang isang activity or not. Decision making is very crucial in our part, lalo na sa kapag gusto nating ang level 3 of SBM level of practice. Isa sa mga MOBs, di ba? Sa mga MOBs, sa level 3 ay sa mga letters or communication na nakasign doon si GPT President, si Barangay Captain, or this School Governing Council, at noted tayo ng mga ang nakapirma tayo tapos doon sa lagay noted ang school head. Isa sa mga tanong nung 2015 exam ay ito nga, which of the following scenario shows that the stakeholders are actively engaged? Isa doon na choices. Parents attending meetings. Mga parents ang attend ng meeting. Actively engagement na ba yon? No. Dapat talaga may ginagawa sila sa sila mismo ang gumagawa ng importanteng gawain para sa implementation ng program.